This is your announcer, Shannon Saint Mainframe, welcoming you to our IP Livecast. Happy Pride Month. The Livecast was going to celebrate by creating a special rainbow line of merchandise. But then some Republican chuds contacted Human Resources about it. So as a compromise, we are going to give away Rob's used condoms. Hope you're happy, chuds. Our IP Livecast starts now.
I wasn't, nobody checked in with me on this giveaway because I don't have used condoms.
Well,
I don't use condoms.
You better go make some.
We'll wait.
Fair point. Right now? Oh, no.
During the show.
Well, while you wait, let me introduce our special guest this week. Welcome back to the show. A big friend, formerly of MetalSucks, Axl Rosenberg.
Hi.
Hello, sir. You're
Thanks
free.
for having me back.
You're free in the real.
You guys can even call me Matt, and we don't all have to go like, oh.
Oh, wow.
Shocker. Well, welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Obviously, we've hung out since because we're actually friends outside.
And you go and you count money together. You just do like the Scrooge McDuck swimming through coins thing.
I thought the more stereotypical.
Sure,
type.
if you want to go
but
there.
sure, that as well. But how has life been for you without the day-to-day grind of writing about Avenged Sevenfold and the Pantera reunion?
Fucking great, man. It's like like we were just saying this off the air, but you were actually the one who told me about the Pantera reunion, and it was like months after it was announced. And I thought you were fucking with me, but I remember laughing.
I like that Rob is still doing the work of metal injection, even though he doesn't work there. He's still breaking metal news to people.
In
real life.
Ben, aka Vince Neilstein, also will like text me, like stuff sometimes, and I'm like, oh, this is good to know that this exists.
You don't have to pretend to like this shit anymore. It's great.
It's not even about pretending to like it because I love some of it. It's just so nice not to have to share an opinion immediately.
Mm.
Not to have an opinion in 5 minutes and then not to get death threats for that opinion.
Rob,
I would not have wanted to cover the Pantera reunion. That would not have gone well for me.
Oh, yeah.
But last week, Phil Anselmo disavowed the Confederate flag, so that's something.
Oh, well then, problem solved.
Well, then they would just direct their ire at him and not the website.
Nah, somehow this is still the Jews' fault.
El Duderino writes in the chat, I swear you both predicted the Pantera reunion 8 years ago on a previous episode. Sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we just predicted that they'd all reunite in the ground and just all be dead. We're halfway there.
Also, 8 years ago, Vinny was still alive, right? So it would have had more of a claim, I guess, to being a Pantera reunion as opposed to now where it's just Phil and what's his band called? The Dumb Shits?
Illegals?
The Illegals. They got a better name, right? Like that's what happened.
Yeah.
Rex Brown joined and they got a better name.
Yeah.
Cool.
The dumb shits. I'm gonna write that down. The dumb shits. That sounds.
Phil Anselmo and the dumb shits. I mean, he does have 50 other bands. My take on it is, if I get an invite from somebody that's like, "Hey, I have an extra ticket. Do you want to go see Pantera and Metallica?" I will say yes. I would love to, and I will even drive there, and I will give you a ride for inviting me. Thank you, sir or ma'am.
Who are you specifically signaling out to someone listening that you're hoping will do this? And if just call out their name.
In the old days, that would have worked.
Yeah.
It would have worked.
In fact, that is how I got to the Big Four show.
Oh, is it?
I wrote on the site, like, well, nobody's invited me.
Oh, I see. Oh,
20 minutes later, I got an invite.
Let me ask you a question, though. What is with these ungrateful fucks that you provided a service for them for a good portion or more than a decade, and now that suddenly you don't run the site anymore, they just don't give you favors? Like there's not one little piece of gratitude that you made them a bunch of money for that long?
It's a very "what have you done for me lately" type of business.
Yeah, have you met people?
Yeah.
I'm protesting it. I find that reprehensible.
And I think the other thing is like maybe I could get it happening, but it would require like effort and asking.
I see.
And I don't want to, like, I don't care that much to call in the favor of favors for this.
So it's on you,
saving it.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's why I said if someone invites me, I'll go. But I'm not going to pay $400 to see Metallica and Pantera.
No.
For the last 3 or 4 years that we were doing the sites, if a ticket was under $40, I stopped asking for list because I didn't want to owe people favors anymore. So to now go back and ask for list seems like it would be ludicrous.
So what kind of favors would you have owed? Like back in the day, like what would be your end of the bargain? What would you have to do?
Can you cover this really shitty band that the label is pumping money into?
That's basically it. The publicists have like 3 great bands that you want to deal with, and then 30 for every one band. They have 10 bands that you are annoyed by, and so to get a favor for that one band, you have to pay them back by. And it's not like an agreed upon agreement. Like I'll put you on this Metallica list if you cover these 3 bands. Actually, with some publicists it was like that.
Wow!
But typically, it's a little more on the DL than
like
that.
Unspoken,
it's just understood.
But understood.
Yeah, it's like an unspoken thing. It's like, okay, you've constantly given my band's press. I will get you into this Metallica show. Or if they don't, then they know that not to expect press in the future for these other bands that they're dealing with. And that's really, I mean, they're just doing their job. Everyone's doing a job here. Everyone's got work to do.
Have either of you had a situation where you reached out for a hookup and the person said no because I don't like the way you did XYZ recently?
Oh, yeah.
Can you give an example without like necessarily outing specifics?
I'll out people.
Ooh.
No, I was never surprised when this happened.
Okay.
But people would cancel interviews with writers who wrote for us because of something that Ben or I, probably me, had said. And the publicist would always call me kind of apologetic, like Rob Zombie canceled an interview, I think 5 minutes before. And I was like, yeah, I get it. Like, I don't know why this idiot requested an interview. That happened to me all the time.
Rob,
we've also gotten, I haven't had that, I don't think, but we've definitely had something. Oh, well, actually with Gene Simmons, I remember we almost had Gene Simmons on the podcast. And it was
on this podcast?
On this podcast, yeah, because he was promoting some venture. I forget what it was. It was like
Gene Simmons does things outside of Kiss?
Believe it or not. and the publicist for that venture, it wasn't like the Kiss publicist or whatever, was like, oh, Gene has limited availability on interviews. And I was like, oh, I'll pitch this. Sure. Like maybe this guy doesn't know everything I've written about him. And then the following week, he got accused. He was at Fox News, and that was he, like sexually harassed 2 women at Fox News, and we wrote about it. And then like I got an email from Gene Simmons' manager being like, well, how could Gene go on a show like this with this kind of unfair coverage on your website?
What is this? The like everybody pinch titties show? This is not like what are you talking about?
But also, like if they had listened to any time we actually talked about Gene specifically, it would have been even worse. That's even less fair coverage.
That's the much bigger obstacle to getting him on here.
Well, that requires more work to listen to audio than just to see an article on a website for 2 seconds.
We would have rehabbed his image. Are you kidding? Good step 1 for PR.
I still just think, do you know how bad your behavior has to have been to get banned from Fox News for sexual harassment? Like, holy shit.
I mean, he's from a different era, as some some nicer people would say.
Thank you, Robert. That was my plan. I was going to say that whenever I was accused of pinching asses, I would say I'm from a different era.
Well, there was some interview. I think it was on Loudwire. He was promoting his like greatest hits collection that was like $500 or something, and he did a extended interview. I believe it was with Graham Hartman, and I feel like that was the interview where you really got to see like the personality of Gene Simmons in long form without editing, and it's just like, oh, he's just like this old Jewish grandpa who's super confident in like he thinks his opinion is the absolute correct opinion, and he will not budge on it, and instead will like respond to any nudging with very sarcastic Jewish jokes bordering on inappropriate. That's Gene Simmons.
I mean, that I feel like that, if you out of context, that could be your description of me. So I don't know how to react to you.
I thought it was my mom you were talking about. So
your mom's a Jewish grandpa?
basically.
Deuterino says Rob almost got Greg Gutfeld to come on and play Death or No Death. Actually,
you
there
stood
was
by him at a show.
What a
there was
snag that would have been.
There was a small window where we probably could have gotten Greg Gutfeld because he was close with the publicist for Guar because Odorous kept going on his show. And
You can still get Greg Gutfeld.
Yeah, probably.
I get constant emails from, like, I'm on all these lists for writing work, and I get constant emails that he's looking for joke writers, even
really?
with the strike going on. So
that can't be a union gig.
yeah, he's not like unreachable.
Are you ever tempted to apply just to see what would happen?
I just can't imagine what passes for a joke in that world.
The
That's
bar
how
is
easy it
very
is.
low.
Well,
Yeah.
they want a skilled hand to craft their right wing bullshit into
Right.
something that works as a joke.
But like, what's the joke?
I don't.
Did you
that the
see
liberal
those
has green
Mexican
hair.
children that died under our care?
Yeah.
Guess they're not having any tacos for dinner tonight.
Can you believe boys want to be girls and girls want to be boys? Isn't that crazy, folks?
And then just
My
show a video of
pronouns are
Biden
shut
calling.
up. Yeah.
Well, that joke has been used many times. Whichever Republican joke writer wrote that joke, the royalties are through the roof because that's like joke one for every conservative comedian.
Yeah, they got that one. They don't need Matt for that. That
Yeah.
one they have a whole
They're
bunch
covered.
of those. Yeah. The other stuff.
Ted Cruz did that joke. Roseanne did that joke.
When Roseanne did that joke, that was the point where I was like, girl, you come from comedy. Like, this is hack.
Was that before or after?
This was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
You've just been unplugged.
Yeah, right.
I'm
She's,
very
she's
impressed.
touring with Phil Anselmo now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't
So
be shocked
all of
I
the
wouldn't be
things
shocked
you
if
see-
she was dating Phil Anselmo.
Yeah. Man,
Phil Anselmo's married, though. He's had a
Is he?
long-time girlfriend. Yeah.
That never stopped me before.
She's very, very nice.
wait, Roseanne?
No, Phil Anselmo's
Oh.
girl. I forgot her name. She has a name. That's not her.
It's probably also Roseanne.
No. But speaking of writing, Matt, you've gotten the writing bug again, folks.
A little bit.
You launched a new writing
did.
platform, and it's not on Substack.
It's not on Substack. I started a new blog. It's called Appetite for Deconstruction. I'm not updating.
Now, where
it
did
as
you
much
get
as I
that
should.
name?
I don't know.
Where
It
did you
just
get
came
that
to me.
What was the inspiration for the name Appetite for Deconstruction?
I was gonna call it "You Have Terrible Taste in Movies," but I thought, like, I just did this with MetalSucks. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's basically a long form movie suck. Basically,
Yeah. So, and I'm just writing mostly about movies, but like whatever pop culture. I've written about some books and some stuff about the writer's strike, and I might write about video games at some point. So it's just like anything I want to write about that's not Phil Anselmo, because I'm done with that shit. Is there, and you can read it or not. I appreciate people who read it, and it's okay if you don't.
Yeah, you had a nice little something about how dumb Netflix is for their new anti-piracy policy.
Yeah, well, that's not going to work. So I don't know what to say.
We'll see how quick they reverse course on that. But
Did
I'm
you
sure
see
they're gonna
Amazon
tout-
giving them shit on Twitter?
oh no, I didn't see that.
Amazon sent out a tweet it said something like, people watching everyone who has our password. It was like flaunting that they don't care if you share your password for Prime Video.
It's such a penny pinching move on their part. It's just because they've reached their critical mass of possible subscribers, so now they can't grow the subscriber base anymore. So they're trying to squeeze more money out of the subscribers they do have, while not realizing that it's just going to create far more churn.
I just think the ship's going down, man. Like, I don't know what to say. Yeah, it's reached. I think critical mass is a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm. And also, I want to ask you. So you have this write-up about Fast X, and I have much respect for your opinion in movies.
Yes,
and you are one of the biggest proponents of the Fast and Furious series that I
love
know. And like for me, when I saw, it's so crazy now that it's been going for 20 years. Because when I saw the commercial for the first one, I was immediately out. I was like, this is not for me. This looks awful. This is terrible. And I think, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them ago, I'm like, oh, this seems like they've reached this point. Maybe, you know what it was? The Snyder DC movies have kind of made me realize that I actually do enjoy watching bad movies. Sometimes it could be a fun experience to watch a terrible movie like Batman versus Superman, because you end up like laughing at an inappropriate part. It's just great to watch it, seeing like this is what this filmmaker thought he could get away with, you know?
And that's the thing though with a movie of that size. It's not just that filmmaker, Rob. Thousands of people had to sign off on that. Nobody had the courage to say, hey, this Martha thing is really dumb.
Right. Yes, that's of the
that's in the movie.
So I want to ask you, when did the Fast like if I want to get into the Fast franchise, I don't want to watch all 10, 11 movies. What's the jumping in point for the absurdity?
5. So
okay.
this guy, Justin Lin, started directing them with part 3, which is actually like part 8 chronologically, I think.
What?
There's time jumps.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Lucas Black is in high school and then goes away, and then
which one is Lucas Black?
He was the kid who once upon a time was in Sling Blade, but now he's grown up.
He's in these movies?
He's in a couple of them, and he has like scenes that are supposed to be days apart where he's visibly 15 years older, like because of the time jumps. It's very so Justin Lin did part 3 and part 4, and those were okay, and then part 5, I think he just went like fuck it, and that's when the movies went into ridiculous overload.
Yeah.
And that was like part 5 was like now comparatively the subtle one.
Wow.
Because now they've got nuclear subs and they're going into outer space. Like, dude, these guys started out stealing combination TV DVD players. They have now saved the world like 6 times.
Are they a government agency? Are they vigilantes? I've never seen a single one of these movies.
They started out as thieves.
Okay.
They're now working for the agency.
Oh.
We never learn which agency.
It could be the Bauer agency from Who's the Boss, for all we know.
Sure, it could be.
What a reference.
Thank you.
It's just CAA.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that explains everything.
And they're completely ridiculous. You have to know they're ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I think they're a blast. They're so stupid.
Yeah, no, I mean, as someone who enjoys pro wrestling regularly, and
there's like 1,000. There's everybody but Dave Bautista's been in it at this point, I think.
Right, and now The Rock is crawling back to the franchise now that he's been rejected by the superhero world.
Oh.
That got filmed a couple of weeks before the movie came out, and after like a lot of pestering from his team, is what I've heard. And he got paid $1 million for it.
So he's only in like one scene or whatever?
He's in a shot,
credits.
Not in a scene. He's in a shot. Guy comes in, there's a ringing phone. They couldn't get Jason Momoa, so it just says like the name of Jason Momoa's character on the caller ID. You hear Jason Momoa, and the guy he's talking to has a mask. He's like part of a SWAT team. And you hear Jason Momoa talking, and then like he takes off the mask, and it's The Rock, and he says something, and the movie's over.
Oh, it wasn't a post-credits scene?
Yeah, it's like mid credits or whatever.
Okay,
But
I got you.
What was the reaction in the audience when The Rock showed up?
I think everybody knew it was coming. But yeah, people were like, "Ooh!" It wasn't like Marvel where people went nuts.
Yeah.
It was more like Jerry Springer.
I guess that's appropriate.
Or like a kiss on Saved by the Bell. Ooh.
Yeah, Matt's one of the few people I know that's still actively going to physical movie theaters. Matt is single-handedly keeping the movie industry alive.
I might be.
I actually bought my first movie ticket the other day that in like maybe a year.
What did you see?
Well, it will be in a month and a half, but Oppenheimer.
Oh.
I'm going to go see.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer, I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love me some Christopher Nolan. Usually. Tenet.
Tenet was terrible.
Yeah. But usually I love Christopher Nolan movies. So
Are you doing the Lincoln Center IMAX?
No.
Is that
I don't like IMAX. It's too much. I feel like an old man. It just the screen's too big. I feel like I'm always missing
sitting
something.
too close.
Alamo Drafthouse is fine for me. 70 millimeter, good enough.
You're supposed to stay home and put a telescope through your window and watch the IMAX.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
That's perfect for City. Likes to stay home.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll go see this one in the theater. It's right around my birthday.
Yeah, there's also if you're okay with Pho IMAX, I think the Sheepshead Bay Theater has a really nice compromise IMAX theater where the screen isn't gigantic and the sound is really good.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they serve pho with the IMAX.
Oh my god, that would be great! Just hearing slurping throughout the whole movie.
It's The Rock! Holy shit, it's The Rock! He had a mask on, but it's really The Rock.
And that's by the post credits. The slurping is going to be crazy because everybody's got to finish the soup before theater clears out. It's just a cavalcade of slurps.
Weren't these guys stealing toaster ovens? Now they just stopped the nuclear sub from blowing up.
That would be amazing.
All right. Well, it is officially Pride Month. June is the month that we remember the gays for 30 days, and the transes, and the lesies.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Sorry,
and the asexies. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to stop being inappropriate.
You're invoking your gay card a little over the line there, I think.
Look, at least I'm not calling everyone the hard F word, but
not yet.
I saved that for off the air.
Yeah, you saved that for your hookups.
You saved that for July 1st when the Pride Month is over.
Hey, we're allowed to call each other that.
Oh, okay. Fine.
In a sexual manner. But anyway, I feel like tensions are at a boil this year for Pride because just conservatives and just Christian terrorists, let's call them, have been just on a tear lately of being incredibly butthurt about rainbows in Target or whatever. You know, there's been I feel like the backlash against Pride is much stronger, louder this year. Well, it started, I feel like a few months ago, even before Pride happened, because of just all this anti-trans legislation, these false accusations of like calling drag queens groomers and all this bullshit. And then there was the dumb protest against Bud Light because this trans actress, Dylan Mulvaney, did one TikTok video for them. And they're claiming that they cost Bud Light like $6 million in market share, which has not been proven. A few people stopped drinking Bud Light, but the thing you don't realize is Anheuser-Busch controls practically like, I don't know, 60-70% of all the beer distributed in the country. So, and all the other, it's not like Miller does not have like pride stuff. They all do the diversity stuff. And spoiler alert, it's not because they care about the gays. They just want the gays' money, and they've done market research, and they showed they could make more money doing it than not doing it. But now, because these chuds are being loud and chuddish, they're having second thoughts. With Target in particular, it's a very sticky situation. No pun intended, because there are these chuds coming into the stores and not just destroying merchandise, but attempting to assault employees. And they don't want, like, I could understand the thought of like, we don't want our employees dealing with this. And so they said that they are pulling most of their merch, which I think is lame, but I understand. Anywho. Now we're here. It's Pride Month. And there's so many weird attempts at pandering. Like for me, Pride Month seems a lot like pandering. With these corporations, it's like all of a sudden we care about gay folks. You know, like they don't care. Like I said, they care about making money. And some of the design choices are pretty baffling. Like in our Discord, I shared this photo of the MLB Pride logo, the National Baseball League, a Major League Baseball rather, has this logo, which just looks brutal.
It looks like an iPhone case. I don't get it. I don't get why it's that shape.
Yeah, we were even talking about this in our Discord, that even the baseball is like the camera hole of the iPhone case.
Wait, is that an iPhone case?
It looks like a sheet cake to me, like a giant sheet cake you would get at a Stop and Shop.
But it's basically just a regular MLB logo with colors, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's the template for Pride things. All they do is take their stupid logo,
right,
and put rainbows on it.
Yeah.
Well, how would you make it the logo gay? Like, Rob, any suggestions to actually make it authentically gay?
Well, you're not making the logo gay. The logo
is
not interested in logos of the same sex.
have him like bending over the NBA logo.
Yeah,
that's exactly. Like there should be two MLB guys next to each other. And then it should be 4 panels, 2 MLB guys, 2 MLB girls, then like an agender.
Just get Ronald Acuna and Mike Trout to go on a date, a very romantic date. Put them in a booth at a nice Italian restaurant. There you go.
Or Shohei Ohtani is a pitcher and a hitter, so maybe it's like him fucking himself.
There you go.
Also, I think there was a big controversy. Was it with the Dodgers? What was the team? So the Dodgers invited all of these. They were having a Pride night, and one of the groups invited were I forget their name, the Sisters
of Indulgence, was it? Something like that.
They dress up as nuns.
They're drag queens that dress up as nuns, and naturally the Catholic
Sisters
Church
of Perpetual Indulgence.
Scandalous.
The Catholic Church was like, oh, no, this is offensive to our church.
Was it even the Catholic Church? Wasn't it like Marco Rubio that like started complaining? And then just people on Twitter?
Yeah, and so then they decided to pull the nuns. And then because of that, all the other gay groups and the pride groups that they were affiliated with pulled out of the event, as they should have, because they were like, hey, it's either all or nothing with this bitch. And then they added the group back.
Right.
Looking like, which is like good. But now then some other player was like, oh, I'm a Christian.
There's been a bunch of players this week. One of whom like shared something on Twitter and then had to apologize for it and gave like a half-assed apology. This guy, this like scrub relief pitcher on the Toronto Blue Jays named Anthony Bass. But yeah, a bunch. But every year we talk about how there's athletes who don't want to participate. Like they don't want to wear the pride patch or whatever shirt or hat.
Well, this is what, Rob, you've said this before, and I fully agree with you, that this stuff, seems like a good idea on paper, but because corporations are running it, it can inevitably not work, and it's going to cause more problems than it's purporting to solve.
Yeah, and the moment these corporations get the slightest inch of pushback, they're done. They're over it. They're like, oh, okay, fuck the gays. We're pulling it. You know, like it shows how just shallow the whole thing is. It's not sincere at all. It's very cynical.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
Do you think that it has value in terms of, for lack of a better term, like normalizing it? Like kids will see this stuff to whatever degree it happens, and then it won't seem.
Yeah,
The
this is what
idea
I
is that,
struggle
like,
with.
I agree with homophobia isn't going away now, but maybe in like a few generations.
Yeah. Well, I think it's already had a very positive effect. I've talked
Yeah.
a lot about how I think like the younger generation of gays are much much more mentally balanced than and like there's being closeted isn't really that much of a I don't want to say it's not that much of a thing, but it's like it's so much more accepted now that it's much easier for a child to come out as gay than it was when I was coming up. I felt there was much more pressure about it, just with the language in general.
I would add also that among Gen Z kids, I think there's more pressure on bigoted kids, like to not be bigoted, than there is on gay people to not come out of the closet. It's very much become. I'm not universally, obviously, there's exceptions to everything, but I think it's really socially frowned upon to be bigoted at this point. And we live in New York, so that might be skewed or whatever.
But I agree, the general kind of vibe is like that. Like you don't see it in TV shows anymore. Or, you know, there would be open homophobia on sitcoms in the 90s. You know, now
in the 90s, like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, even in The Hangover, the first joke
he
of
says,
The Hangover.
paging Dr. F word.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest comedy hits of all time. And it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And Jon Stewart making trans jokes like 10 years ago, right before.
Right, yeah. I feel like trans jokes were like the last acceptable kind. Those were the last to go in terms of getting comedy out of them. So,
sometimes it's not even jokes, by the way. Sometimes it's just a trans person comes on the screen and like Jim Carrey just mugs at the camera like, what the hell? You know, that's
and vomits. And the entire cast of the movie vomits.
The joke is trans panic. Yeah, right. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, even I guess even in like buddy cop, I remember that was my big kind of annoyance with the movie Bad Neighbors with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron.
So Bad Neighbors or just Neighbors?
Or Neighbors? I don't know. There was definitely like gay panic in the movie where like it'd be like, oh, a guy is getting. I forget what it was, but like Zac Efron was getting like a massage or something, let's say, and he really liked it. And then he opened his eyes and realized it was like a guy giving him the massage. And he was like, ah! Like it was like the biggest.
Wasn't that like an early Seinfeld episode? They did that same bit in a Zac Efron movie?
I don't know.
Wow. But I think Seinfeld, and not defending it, but at least they're portrayed as buffoons in that shit.
Yeah, the joke was on George being ridiculous, not on the masseuse or anything.
But how was it handled in the Zac Efron vehicle?
Well, they tried to course correct in the second one, I know, where two of the characters are revealed to have been gay the whole time.
Oh. I didn't watch. I haven't seen this. I like the movie in general. That was just like a little nitpick of like, oh, I wish they didn't go to that spot. But it just showed that was just the common joke trope. It was an easy laugh to get.
See, Pride is already having effects. They forced Neighbors 2 into being pro.
They retconned it so that two of these guys were gay.
Well, the whole diversity and inclusion thing, I think there is a positive. Like sometimes you could feel forced, but I think there is a huge positive aspect to it as well.
I agree with you. I just think with corporations running it, it's bound to run into some blind alleys and
for sure,
backfire.
Yeah. So to your point, like, so you know, when I saw my first Pride parade, and I saw cops walking in the Pride parade, and it was not just cops, like firefighters. I was like, oh wow, like this really is representation. Look, you like. Just being gay isn't a defining characteristic. It's just one aspect of your life. You could be a cop, you could be whatever. But as I learned more about, as I educated myself more and learned more about the issues that gay people faced with cops, I could see why a lot of gay people don't want cops at Pride. And now I agree with that position that it's not a place for cops because cops run in the department, the NYPD, run in opposition, like morally, to what gay people do.
Well, not just morally, they're like the official arm of keeping people oppressed. So like it's just kind of pointless for them to be at this parade, even if they're individually gay. They're helping the opposition.
Yeah, like, and I think that's a very valid reason not to have them there. In general, I don't really like. I've talked about it before. Like the Pride Parade in general is too corporate for me. I prefer the Gay Liberation March. That's the punk rock march.
You like the old gay pride parade? You miss the old gay?
That's
parade?
right. The punk rock parade. Yeah. No, the underground parade. It's the hard. It's like the more heavy metal parade that happens in the afternoon of the Pride Parade.
Is Rob Halford there?
No.
Like, how is it heavy metal?
Oh, because it's not corporate. It's not. It's just about.
He means like metaphorically. No.
Oh, okay.
It's metaphor. Yeah.
First you said punk rock, and then immediately it's heavy metal. And
Well, it's punk rock. Oh yeah, no, because and what's her name? What's her name from
Joan
Letitia?
Jett?
No.
Oh, Kathleen Hanna.
Kathleen Hanna. Thank you. Like she was when we saw them last year. She was talking about like
That
don't
was
just go
definitely
to the
more than a
Pride
year
Parade.
ago.
Oh really?
Oh
No.
yeah, that was a pre-pandemic.
Really?
I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
my god.
Dude.
No.
Yes.
Get
We saw
out.
Bikini Kill at King's
Bikini
Theater.
Kill, thank you. Yes, that was
years
oh my
ago.
God. Well, she was talking a lot about it.
Hey Rob, I don't know
Well,
if you heard Pantera reunited. By the way, I just wanted to throw that out there.
But she was saying like,
that
was
was 2019, Rob.
crazy. She was like, don't just go to the Pride Parade, go to the Gay Liberation March where the real gays are. Or
How
like,
long has the
I
Gay
think it was also
Liberation March been on?
just as long. I think not just as long. It was like it was essentially it was a revolt against the Pride Parade after it got too corporate.
But do you know like when that was?
Let's see.
I grew up in the West Village. The parade literally went right by our house every year. I've never heard of the Gay Liberation March. That's why I'm curious.
Well, it's not for you, Matt, so you
That's
should
true.
have heard of it.
That's true. We would go to the movies. That was like a day to go to the movies.
It's like
I'll
how
look it
the
up, but
Jews
I don't
go
know.
to Chinese restaurants on Christmas.
Exactly. But my mom still suspiciously loves the Dykes on Bikes. So
Who doesn't? It's a very
That's
satisfying rhyme.
That's true.
I feel like even like Westboro Baptist Church probably likes the Dykes on Bikes just because it's fun.
Nobody wants to get laid by people of the same gender more than the members of the Westboro Baptist Church. Like you can't be that upset about it unless you want it desperately.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I do want to also add that it is lovely when the NYPD tries to get in on Pride because it's a citywide event, and I did not think this was real, but it is real because the police commissioner tweeted this photo. There are Pride-themed cop vehicles now, and they say "Happy Pride Month." All colors are beautiful, and if you look at the acronym, it's ACAB.
Oh wow!
Which is all cops are bastards, but they've taken it back. You take back something negative and you make a positive out of it. All cops aren't bastards. All colors are beautiful.
All colors are beautiful, but they beat one of the colors more than the other.
I was going to say all colors are beautiful as long as they're not driving.
It's going to be very nice. Like it's going to feel so great during the month of June that when you're getting hauled off into a cop car, you're getting slammed into a rainbow as opposed to just a regular white vehicle.
There's going to be a little extra red in that.
So I just like. Do you think this was a gag? Like, did somebody in marketing get one over on them?
Oh no!
Or did
I
they
think
just
this
not?
is
They
very consciously this condescending and mocking on purpose.
This is amazing. I can't believe this is real.
I
haven't seen one. Where are they?
Is this the only one?
Party just started, so we'll see.
That's true.
There's guaranteed that within the next 28 days, there's going to be a gay person thrown into that car unjustly with their head slammed into that logo. I guarantee you it will go viral.
Yeah, like when there's the protests. These are the cars that are going to be running over people.
Of course. They've got
Don't
that
forget,
tank
all
with
colors are beautiful.
It's like a tank crushing skulls down Fifth Avenue with the rainbow logo on it. The giant battering ram painted fuchsia.
Axl, one of our listeners, EP Zeroni, says, Axl, love all your articles you've written.
Thanks, EP Zeroni. I don't believe you, but it's a nice thing to say.
He notes, if you like bad movies, then you're a fan of Battlefield Earth.
I saw Battlefield Earth in theaters opening weekend. I have not seen it since. I guess I should revisit that one. Yeah, it was pretty fucking ridiculous.
Did you know you were going to see that, like, ironically, or did you have zero expectations?
I was curious. Not curious like I want to be a Scientologist. I was like, I want to see on a propaganda level that was my curiosity about it.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
It wasn't like as it was too easy to just watch it as like a normal bad science fiction movie and ignore the Scientology. I wanted like what's a good example? I don't know, like any Mel Gibson movie where it's just like so clearly about how the Jews are evil.
I was gonna say, like, a lot of I recommend watching Battlefield Earth because I think a lot of people or their perception of the film is not what it is. Like, the reason it's bad is just it's incredibly boring.
It's very boring.
It's very boring. The most laughable bad movie thing about it is the dialogue, like John Travolta eating up the scenery and all that stuff. But there's just long stretches of that movie where nothing happens whatsoever. It's like
the hero.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, go on.
It's not this spectacularly explosive, like, horrible movie. It's just really dull.
Yeah, it's not. I don't remember it being fun the way that like the Fast and Furious movies are fun. Right. Like Barry Pepper is the hero, and he's just a charisma suck. And for some reason, Travolta and Forrest Whitaker decided the aliens were going to have these like high school level Shakespearean accent.
Oh.
And it's just like, like misguided. It's just very
Forrest
badly
Whitaker
misguided.
makes a lot of weird accent choices in movies for some reason, I find.
He's an actor. What do you mean for some reason?
Well, because I don't know. I just feel he does it more often than most.
More than like Tom Hardy?
I guess I haven't seen enough Tom Hardy movies, or his voice is always muffled by whatever mask he's wearing, so I can't really make out the accent.
You will never take over the earth.
That's basically it. What was this? What was the movie with Arrival? Was that the one with the aliens and Forrest Whitaker and Amy Adams?
Yep.
Did he have a weird accent in that?
Yes, it was like a weird sort of masshole Boston accent, but not exactly. It was very strange and hard to understand what he was saying, and I was just the whole movie was, to me, like, all I remember about that movie is his accent and why he decided to do that.
That's literally the thing I don't remember about the movie.
Wow. Can we find a scene from that movie on YouTube, Rob, with Forrest Whitaker in it? Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but
No,
I just
you're probably right.
I remember it too, that he had a weird accent. Okay, let me get this on the screen here, folks. Here's a
state of emergency.
Can you hear it?
As many as 5,000 National Guard being deployed to the state of Montana alone.
Zoom ahead. We don't need to hear this setup.
Everyone's this when it comes to translations. And you have another 2 years in the SSBI, so you still have top secret clearance. Guess what? I'm in your office.
Top secret clearance.
We have clearance, Clarence. What's our vector, Victor?
Okay.
I just thought that was what Forrest Whitaker sounded like.
Is it? I don't think so.
I'm watching this now, and I don't remember thinking anything was off about it at the time. Now I kind of hear what you're saying, but it didn't jump off the screen at me.
It just seemed like a random choice. Like I don't think the movie takes place in Boston. There's nothing mentioned about where his character is from. He just decided to show up and do that slight accent, and it was very strange. And I was just I was more fascinated about why he decided to do that and why they were cool letting him do that than I was with anything else about the movie.
Well, he showed up and he asked the director, like, I need a 24-page bio of what my character went through to get to this point. And the guy was like, sure, here you go. Just do whatever you want. Just say the lines.
He's a French Canadian, so he was actually like, sure, here you go. Do whatever you want.
He came out to the Rougeau brothers music on the set.
He's like, can my character be a Mountie? They're like, the horse budget would be too high. We can't do it.
All right, no horse. I can do this. I'm an actor.
Now I want to see a version of this movie where every scene Forrest Whitaker is on a horse for no reason.
Somebody make that happen.
Deuterino, Photoshop that, please.
Poor horse.
Yeah.
Easy joke. Sorry. Cheap shot.
The horse asked the director, why does he have a Massachusetts accent?
What? That's weird.
Well, folks, I wanted to check in with our favorite radio DJ, talking, of course, about Eddie Trunk.
I thought Mike Francesa you were going to say.
Oh, sorry, music DJ. I should say. But you're right. Okay. Eddie Trunk is Mike Francesa is our favorite DJ, but when it comes to music, it's Eddie Trunk.
Well, was Mike Francesa on Eddie Trunk? That would be great.
I wish.
Wow, he just sent this out like hours ago?
Yes. At 2 a.m, he sent this out. Hadn't been in NYC for a year. If I can help it, it'll be longer before I go back. Awful traffic, insane cost, and the city has turned it to total shit. Feel bad for tourists who don't know what they're going into. Sad what is happening to some of our great cities.
Now,
honestly, doesn't this read like a Trump tweet?
I was going to say, is he running for president? What the fuck is that?
Hadn't been to New York City for a year. If I can help it, it'll be longer before I go back. Awful traffic, insane cost, city has turned to total shit. Feel bad for tourists who don't know what they're getting into. Sad.
There's like 7 original Ray's pizzas. Makes no sense whatsoever. They're on every block. I don't get it.
Okay, don't come back, Eddie Trunk.
Who
gives a shit?
Well, I have a question. Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. I was going to say, whenever someone says this, I'm like, bye.
Yeah.
More room for the rest of us.
Clearly. But all right. We all live in New York, right? Well, explain to me what is new about, what is in that tweet that just happened that wasn't already part of New York that he's complaining?
Yeah, exactly. Like was New York not expensive 20 years ago?
Yeah,
right. I don't necessarily take issue with any of the individual things he's saying. Where is this where was this golden age where that did not exist?
A year ago, the last time he was here, everything was clean and affordable.
The New York isn't sending their best. They're not sending their brightest.
Isn't he from here?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Well, he lives in Jersey, I think. He lives in Jersey.
But
they're putting rainbows on the cab cars now.
Jersey is so fucking nice. Are you kidding me? The entire state smells. The entire state smells bad.
So here's what he's awful traffic. When has there been a time when New York hasn't had traffic?
Yeah.
Right.
Insane cost. Okay,
always.
We've always. And the city has turned to total shit. Well, that's very generic. How has it turned to shit? Maybe some clubs have closed.
Whoa, is BB King still open? Because clearly he went to a show there. Maybe he wanted to go to a show there, and then it was closed, and that's what.
It's closed, but there's equally awful venues.
Well, he did go to a show in the city because.
Who did he see?
Nokia Theater?
Amaranth.
Close. Rival Sons.
What?
Rival Sons.
Oh, God. All right.
Real Live Rock for one of my favorites. Also, he's such an old man. A few months ago, he was complaining. I mean, I guess it was in January now that the Super Bowl didn't have a real rock show and that they should get Metallica.
Oh my God! Enough!
Yes,
enough!
Oh, the most recent Eddie Trunk viral tweet that I saw was get this, folks, about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No.
Oh,
About how they didn't induct Maiden again, like how it's such a joke that Maiden isn't in there, and how it's just like, get over it.
who cares?
Maiden doesn't
Doesn't
wanna
mean
be in it.
anything.
Shit. Fuck me. Who fucking cares?
Does Iron Maiden even care? They don't.
No,
even
they
care.
said
They're
they said
against
they
it.
wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
said
think
they're
they
not gonna
care.
show up.
Isn't that like they care, and that's
Yeah,
why they don't
that-
want to
yeah.
show up?
Yeah, I think they cared a decade ago. Now
Yeah.
they just don't
They're
care.
bitter.
Now
They're
they really.
bitter. But
Yeah,
they have
no,
a
but
right
they-
to be bitter. At least they're the fucking band. Who the fuck is Eddie Trunk?
But even they're not complaining about it. So
Right.
why? Like, also, just I'm not sure if he's. Oh, Jericho did this where.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, oh, why is how can Missy Elliott
Do the voice.
LL
Why is Missy Elliott?
why is Missy Elliott in there? Not Iron Maiden. Buh. And it's
It's
thank
like
you.
Chris Jericho's in the room.
And you can make the point. Why is Iron Maiden not in the Hall of Fame without having to mention
How come
two
black
notably
people get to be in
black
there?
people? Yeah, the black musicians.
Who did he complain about? Missy Elliott and who?
LL Cool
LL
J.
Cool J.
Wow. Okay.
Like, yeah, what did LL Cool J contribute to music? You know,
Well,
or Missy
he went.
Elliott?
He went down the list of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees and picked out the first two black people that he
Yeah.
came to.
Well, it was so funny because that he was like before Iron Maiden, before this other band. He named like 5 bands that should be inducted, and then also named Thin Lizzy,
Right.
so that if somebody was like, "Oh, that's racist," like, "Are you dumb? I said Thin Lizzy, bro."
That was his strategic planning
Yeah.
for that. He planned that out better than his pay-per-view matches. these days.
I don't get it's so stupid, and like I just, in a way, this is almost the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's fault because.
They exist.
Well, they exist, and the name of it's not really the Rock and Roll Hall; it's the Music Hall of Fame. It's like for all of music. It's not
It's really
just
the pop music.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly. It's like so. Yeah, Dolly Parton should be in this. You know, Willie Nelson should be in this because they had huge contributions to pop music. And when you watch the show, you see it. Personally, I always enjoy watching the presentation that they do. It's a really fun celebration and that's all. It's just a party. Like everyone, calm the fuck down.
It's just a party and an ad.
Yeah.
It's just like all award shows. It's just the industry being like, remember how great we are. Give us more of your
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, fly to Cleveland, please. Even though this ceremony isn't in Cleveland, because nobody wants to come to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Did you see Eddie Trunk just tweeted out he's very upset that Grand Funk Railroad doesn't have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Oh, so further context: Rival Sons was playing in Times Square. Eddie Trunk was complaining about driving into Times Square. Why the fuck are you driving? Yes, driving into Times Square is a nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing, buddy. I've driven into Times Square. I have driven in Times Square, and you do it knowing that you cannot get your car like between 5th and 8th Avenue. Like, avoid those avenues. Just park on 8th Avenue and walk. It's faster to walk than
And
sit in traffic.
he would be mobbed by people. He'd never get to the show on time, Rob. The trunk heads would not. He wouldn't get a block.
Trunk Nation would just
Yes.
obliterate him.
It's
It's
true.
like Harry and Meghan with the paparazzi following him.
I swear to God. I swear to God, dude. We did something last week about Eddie Trunk. I saw there was footage of him. I wouldn't have known that was Eddie Trunk. If I'm well aware of Eddie Trunk, his show, the history. I thought it was
He
the guy
spoke.
from
He
the
was in the
Americans. I don't know
Motley
who the
Crue- he was in the Vince Neil documentary that we did the watch along.
Yes, that's what it was. Thank you, Sid. I wouldn't have picked him out of a fucking lineup, Eddie Trunk.
Here's what he looks like.
Oh.
He's the guy on the right, by the way.
Looks like
Just
Jeff,
the guy?
looks like Jeff Garland.
This is just
Yes,
a
he
fan.
does.
This is a fan that said, "Thanks for the chat, my friend. Great to
Ooh.
see you again."
Okay, great. Thanks.
So just in case you forgot what he looked like, Darren, I just wanted to let you know.
I don't
would
care
say
to
he at
know.
least-
That's
he at
information
least-
I'm rejecting right now.
He combed his hair this week, so that's nice.
I could have passed him in Times Square. I would have thought he was one of the Spider-Man guys on a break. I would have never known.
To be fair, I don't know that he could pull off Spider-Man. Maybe Shrek.
Well, have you seen some of these? There's a lot of pot-belly Spider-Mans out there. They sit there, smoke a cigarette, fucking take the mask off. He's got a big-ass pot belly eating a bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll.
Got a ketchup stain.
Also, like when he says he feels bad for tourists, he's talking about himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's a tourist. Exactly.
Like, I didn't know what I was getting into, is what he's saying.
And yeah, and really, like, you should not feel bad for any tourist who willingly decides to come to New York and stay in Times Square. Why would you do that to yourself? Why? You're just making everything else difficult for yourself. It's
that's
hard to
part
get
of the
into.
deal. I'm sure they're expecting that. That's part of the big city experience. Is the traffic and the crowding, and it's expensive.
I feel like if you've ever seen any movie or television show or read any book or listened to any song or anything that's ever mentioned New York City ever,
Any trunk tweet,
you should have some awareness that Times Square is a fucking madness. Like, it just is.
It'd be funny if, like, this was the tweet and he went to, like, you know, Le Poisson Rouge in the Lower East Side or something. You know, like, then it'd be like, okay, I guess the village can get a little crazy. But you're in fucking Times Square, buddy. Get a grip.
Counterpoint, I believe you're all mistaken. This actually started 18 months ago, and it was fine before that.
Yeah, before the pandemic. There was no
Times
no
Square
traffic
was just
in Times
a
Square.
pleasure to drive through.
Yeah, honestly, I will say Times Square is much easier to drive through now than it was 5-10 years ago, because they've set up no turn. Like, you can't turn onto the side streets from the main avenue anymore. So you have to just plow through Times Square, and it's
just run them over.
You plow through people.
It
reduces a lot of the traffic bottlenecking. They've actually done some good in Times Square.
Well, there's a whole
driven through there recently.
There's a whole 8-block stretch of Broadway where you can't even drive. It's just the people can only walk now.
Right. They eventually force you off the avenue.
I would also tell Eddie Trunk we have a wonderful public transportation system in this city.
Even in New Jersey, there's a good. You can take a bus that'll leave you right in Times Square.
Again, I know he's worried about his fans seeing him.
Yeah,
that is true. That is true. He probably's like, I'm Eddie Trunk. I can't be caught dead on.
You think Eddie Trunk would deign to appear on public transportation?
He'd just be stuck talking about Stephen Piercy for 3 hours. Never get to where he's going.
You know, we're really putting this in perspective now. Eddie Trunk thinks he's above public transportation to get into Times Square. But he's also not high enough on the totem pole where, let's say, rival sons who invite him to their show would send a car out for him.
Or
a car, it would still get stuck in
give
traffic.
Him parking.
Right. So he has to get his own car, stuck in traffic, blah, 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 pay for parking. Yeah, like, it's so expensive to pay for parking. He probably doesn't even do Spot Hero because he's above that too.
Well,
so he's paying.
Not until I told you about it.
Can you imagine the poor schmuck on the NJ Transit bus next to Eddie Trunk having to listen to stories about John Bonham pissing at a urinal in like 1972?
I'm just imagining now someone be like, "Oh, hey, you're Eddie Trunk, right? Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, I listen to you all the time. Nice to meet you. Cool." And then Eddie Trunk goes in, "So do you want to know about my John Bonham story?" Well, I met him. And he just goes on and on.
No, this would be my story. Oh, hey, you're Eddie Trunk. Yes, I am. Can I get a seat change, please? I'd say I'm changing the channel to WFAN. I'm not. Please, this is not going to work for me.
All right.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So, in other news, I am turning 40 this year. I don't know if you guys are all past 40 now.
Well, there's going to be a nice little 4-month window starting September 1st where the three of us are all in our 40s. And then one of us turns 50. And I won't say who that is.
That's also Rob.
I'm going to turn 40
turning 40 and 50. That's
got a DeLorean.
Well, I am actually going to be doing this hot new trend, which is I'm going to get a son. I'm going to make a son.
You're adopting?
I'm making a child. And then in 18 years, I'm going to infuse myself with his blood. Because that's the hot new trend for millionaires. Millionaire infusing himself with son's blood to stay young. And so
does that work? Is that like scientifically proven?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a real thing.
Well, I don't know. Look at this father. Doesn't he look so much younger than 42?
Oh, yeah.
After infusing himself with his son's blood?
He's 42?
Yeah, damn! I wanted to ask you guys how old you thought
He looks older than 42.
Right?
I'm 41. That dude don't look a year older than me.
Yeah, in the face, he definitely looks like 50s. The body, I guess, looks
Yeah, okay.
younger.
Yeah.
Well,
But the
guys,
face is
imagine
still-
what he'd look like if he didn't put his son's blood into his
Wait,
body.
scroll back down. What the fuck is the son's name?
Talmadge.
What the fuck is that?
Uh,
What is Talmadge?
sounds
I
like
don't know.
it sounds like a C character on Downton Abbey or something.
Oh, Rob, he's 45.
Oh, I'm sorry. 45.
Oh, completely different.
Oh, perfectly makes sense now.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, he does look 42. No, but yeah, he definitely looks 45.
No. I would have guessed he was in his early 50s.
I didn't know Andy
Yeah.
Samberg's dad was a millionaire. That's cool.
So here's here are them doing the transfusions. It's about a liter of blood that he's already, which is a fifth of his blood volume, that his son has already given to him.
His poor son's gonna be like a withered husk in like 2 more years.
Well, what's insane is the 45-year-old's dad is also doing the transfusion.
With his blood? Are they just passing blood along back?
No, it says with Brian's blood.
Brian, yeah, the
So he gives blood to
45-year-old.
the father, and the father gives blood to the
Aw,
grandfather.
That's so
Insane-
sweet. They still do
insane
things
people.
together.
Yeah, they're all morons.
Do you love me now, Dad? Shut up. Make more blood.
Ugh.
So
Shut
it
up,
costs
make more blood.
it costs $2 million a year to do this. This is insane. Like
Why?
that's just how much it costed to
But
do
why?
these treatments.
To take blood out of one person and put it into another?
I
It
guess
also
you got to pay up
involves-
if you want to convince a doctor to waste his time on this shit.
It involves a strict diet, sleep, exercise, and schedule, in addition to more experimental treatments. I think there's also
Can you read 2 paragraphs down for me there?
the FDA warns these claims are sufficiently unfounded.
Scientifically
Oh,
unfounded.
scientific.
Oh, they're
I'm
also
sorry.
sufficiently unfounded.
There is no proven clinical benefit.
Oh well, you know.
Wow. Who are you going to
According
believe?
to the FDA,
You going to believe a
Yeah.
doctor or you going to believe a man with a lot of money?
yeah, like this guy didn't make a lot of money by listening to doctors.
Well, that guy looks great. That's Mark McKinney of Kids in the Hall.
That's his dad that he's giving blood to.
he
Where did
holding
this
him
guy
down?
make his money? Does it say?
It's a brain.
Also, somebody just called him a narcissistic vampire millionaire.
So did all these transfusions happen on the same day? Because they're all in the doctor's office. Like, what's going on here? Like, because if you do it on the same day, you're just passing the son's blood into the grandfather.
And do they ride a 3-seat bike to the doctor's office? That's what I want to know.
It's one of those ones that were like you sit in a circle. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what those fucking
bike?
Oh,
or
yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
trans-
The bike, yeah. Like the riders
there's
all
like a
sit in a
Oh, yeah,
circle.
yeah.
I've never seen that.
They're ridiculous.
Oh,
Why did
that's
Oh
this-
my
Look at
god.
this creepy-
These
This
guys-
just looks like looks like a throuple you would see at Pride.
I was
You
gonna
know,
say,
like
these guys fuck each other, don't
Oh my
they?
God.
This looks like that Janet Jackson album cover.
Rob, quick, F, marry, kill, quick.
Oh, that's an easy.
I can't.
Gotta
Yes,
kill
you
the old
have
man.
to.
Yeah, I'd kill the old man.
Okay.
I guess marry the billionaire.
He's got
but
lots of
I don't
money.
want to. I'll wait a year to have sex with the son then, because it's still it's technically illegal. Oh no,
All right,
17
fine.
is the age of consent.
You knew that way too quick.
Oh my God, this is horrifying.
What is this?
All in
This is
tank
the photo
tops and
shoot
no shoes.
for this Bloomberg article unveiling their.
And they were
thing.
like, "Hey, let's get you guys barefoot on a hill. What is happening?"
What magazine did this?
Bloomberg.
Bloomberg. Because Bloomberg wants to try this shit out. He's
Oh, for
getting up
sure.
there.
My results from 2 years on Blueprint, which I guess is this thing. Metabolic health, top 1.5% of 18-year-olds. Liver health, perfect enzymes. Iron stiffness is 49. Liver fat, 1%.
Excuse
He
me,
and
they're measuring his stiffness?
I don't
What?
know. He has 66% below average of a 10-year-old.
What does that mean? He's reduced his age by 31 years?
Hold on. So this is the father talking.
Yes.
He's in the top 1.5 percentile of 18-year-old fitness, is what he's saying. It's not the son.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. so
Also,
this is all
number
his stats.
5. Could you read number 5, Rob?
99th percentile sleep performance among Whoop users
What?
of
Huh?
same chronological age.
What
I'm
are
guessing
these
Whoop,
things?
Whoop is a sleep measuring app. Yeah.
But why is it? Why is it like cool to? So you sleep a lot? So like, what am I supposed to get from?
Oh,
this?
Whoop is a sleep tracker. It looks like.
Right, but
So-
he says he's
there
in
it
the
is.
99th percentile, and I'm saying if I take Ambien, I bet I would be too. What does that,
Yeah.
what does
Well,
that demonstrate?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's I don't know.
I think it's also not just, I mean, not defending this lunacy in any way, but I think it's not just how long you sleep, but like the depth
The
of
quality,
your
yeah.
sleep and blah, blah, blah.
That's fair.
But the fucked up thing is he has to sleep in the same bed as his dad and his son to get these results. They all share a bed. It's horrifying.
The comments are hilarious. You got 100% sleep and I didn't, but in 500 years we will both be 100% dead.
Oh, this is horrifying.
Fun. Let's hear what he sounds like.
I've been spending millions of dollars.
Oh,
creating
that is-
Wow! I
and
did not
there's a few little tricks I do throughout the day that make all the
I
difference.
thought he'd be
and
British.
It starts the moment.
You did?
For some Talmadge is a British sounding
Oh, that's
name. I
fair,
don't know.
that's fair.
I have a few little tricks I do during the day. One of them is having $14 quadrillion and nothing to do all day. So I just inject blood into my veins.
I wake up. One is when I wake up, I try to jump out of bed. I don't wait. I don't hit the snooze button. I don't try to get an extra 10 minutes.
Sounds like
I
he's got a
just jump out
stuffy
of bed.
nose.
I was just gonna say, like,
Yeah, I don't hit the
Like,
snooze
well,
button.
blood doesn't cure sinus issues. I guess.
He's shoving blood into every available orifice.
Somebody wrote, imagine he died getting hit by lightning.
With a lightning emoji, too. That's great. Oh, please make that happen. If anything could shake my atheism, that would be it.
Bed. That really helps me with forward momentum. When I come in the bathroom, I turn on
comes
this
to the
light,
bathroom.
which is specifically
No,
emulating
no
light
bodily
from the
fluids
sun.
leave my body
It
ever.
helps me feel awake in that moment. It
This
helps
guy
me
definitely
also feel
tans his balls, right?
Oh yeah.
By the way, that's a
More
blood
alert.
smoothie that he's drinking.
the day. It cements my circadian rhythm, which improves the sleep in the night. There's a lot
Why
of
is-
research that shows
This is confusing to me every 2 seconds. So why are random words capitalized, like improves?
Yeah, I don't know. This
Okay.
might be auto-generated caption.
Oh,
I
okay.
think this captioner needs a little bit of a blood infusion. Not sleeping well.
that this is very helpful and you can do it on a daily basis. But taking these first 2 steps in the morning, a strong step out of bed, getting the light exposure really enables me to have the
You know what could give you light exposure? Walking the fuck outside.
Yeah, so
Look
far
at that
your
sun-
his advice so far has been wake up and go out.
Yeah. Don't hit the snooze button.
strength to push through my
And
4-hour
why are his nails this sky blue? Like,
Oh,
why
so
is he
somebody else
painting
in the
his nails?
comments wrote, you do all this optimization and then paint your nails with chemicals? Interesting.
Well, that's just over oxygenation from the 8 gallons of blood he drinks.
Yeah, that's all natural.
hour routine on a daily basis and do it every single day. My name is Brian Johnson.
This guy's like
Wow.
a literal vampire.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Does
Sounds
he have
like
a-
every
Oh
weatherman on
no.
ABC.
What?
Oh, he's
Why?
wow.
Wait,
What
so-
an
Wow.
unflattering bot. Like, he's toned, he's muscular, but it's such an unflattering physique.
And he's sitting on like a weird old wooden box. He's gonna get like splinters in his asshole. What is he doing? This is
does he
unsafe.
have the sun just for the purposes of harvesting blood?
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow.
shaves
He
his
really.
pits.
This photo really makes him look like a fucking vampire.
Yeah, he
Like,
looks 70 in this photo.
Is
Ugh.
woof.
He looks like
Rob-
the guy in the beginning scene of Prometheus.
Rob, can we get a quick side to side with this and our beloved Ron Jeremy
Oh.
Oh.
to see who
Wait,
looks
what
better?
is the future of technology? Way better we believe this. What is the future of human? We don't know. Not humanity. What is the future of human?
Hold on, let me set up this Ron Jeremy side by
That's
side.
probably some weird like vocabulary thing that they use in these like life extension forums that we don't say humanity, we say human.
What about future of human?
Sorry, that was my cyborg implant. He gets the syntax wrong sometimes.
He's got his own Shannon Saint mainframe.
Oh, strikingly similar. Strikingly
All
similar.
this time, Ron was just getting blood from that young woman.
If
This
you're
does
listening
look
on
like his
audio,
face.
I do have to tell you, I'm sure you know already, but Rob has posted a picture of Ron Jeremy.
This is our favorite photo of Ron Jeremy. He has a belly button hernia in this photo.
My God, that girl's parents failed on such a deep level.
And this is the photo we use to compare to all other male presenting humans.
He's definitely.
Why is she looking right into the camera?
Because she wants to make sure her dad, billionaire Brian Johnson, knows it's her in the picture.
Okay, fair enough.
She has to siphon spunk out of Ron Jeremy and deposit it into her father. Do you love me now, Dad? Suck harder. I'm making an Instagram video.
Oh my God.
I feel bad for this kid, kind of.
Oh, do you?
In a way. You know, like, he didn't ask for this.
He's got like 3 microliters of blood left in his body. You feel bad for him? It's very nice of you.
Also, I wonder if he's married still or divorced. I'm betting on divorced.
I want to know who the kid's mom is. I really feel like he had this kid for this reason.
Yeah, I'm sure there was like an egg donor situation.
He's just got a bunch of pods in his backyard. They're just like
he grew the kid from Ron Jeremy's hernia.
Wouldn't you believe it? The woman is 9 years his junior.
Wait, the woman's sucking Ron Jeremy's dick?
No, she's like 90 years.
Yeah.
9 years, the father's junior or the son's?
The father's.
Okay. Oh.
She's 9 years younger, but she looks.
Oh
15.
no. This headline, Rob.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a little cough. He left his fiance after breast cancer diagnosis. What a winner.
So is this the mom of the kid or is this some new lady?
Let's see. Doesn't quite say.
No, she can't be. She had the baby with him when she was 21. That's not right. I mean, it could
He wouldn't be
but-
with her that long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it said up at the top of the article that they had a whirlwind romance, so that
Yeah.
probably means short.
He probably caught her in bed with the kid.
I think I saw that video last week. It's okay. Your dad is out doing Instagram videos about drinking blood. It's fine.
He has 2 other children. Why are they off the hook? Why is this all on Talmadge?
He didn't have the right kind of blood.
Wow, his other children are called Jefferson and daughter Genevieve. Ugh.
Well,
That's
Genevieve,
less weird
at
than
least.
Talmadge.
Yeah. Jefferson's getting into like a little, naming your kid a last name.
Yeah.
A little iffy. Genevieve's fine.
So
Talmadge.
the firm that he owns, by the way, is a neurological firm called Kernel. It looks very creepy.
Oh.
Better data, better brains. It's a neurotechnology company.
Oh,
Definitely the type of guy I'd want to trust with my brain data.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to find who his wife, who the mother of his children are, but
I couldn't find it.
you know what? I wonder if there even is one. It
There
could have
might
just
not be,
been.
yeah.
It could have just been a surrogate.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Surrogate. And it could have made him in a box. Who the fuck knows with this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he's had a fecal transplant? I bet he has.
Yes. Yes.
What is that?
They take somebody else's poop and shove it up your butt
For
What?
better gut health.
for better gut health. This is a real thing. I swear to God. Look it up.
How does that help?
They have better gut health than you do, so the idea is that their poop is better than yours and will have like the bacteria you want in it.
I see.
So
But
they
doesn't
shove,
it? I'm
they
sorry. Go
shove
ahead.
their poop up your digestive system.
But doesn't the shit just come right out? Like, what's it? The bacteria gets dropped off?
That's a great question to which I don't know the answer.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No. I heard about this thing like a year ago, and I thought it was a joke, but like it's a real thing. And I was like, "Who the fuck would ever do this?"
How did we miss this story, Rob?
I don't know.
This is right up our alley.
I failed us.
Literally right up our alley.
I feel like we did talk about this a few years ago.
Maybe.
At
That
some
is true.
point.
We do have a very long and storied archive at this show.
And yeah, any poop news, usually we're right on top of it. Anytime poop is in the headlines.
You have a Google alert?
Oh, yeah. You know it.
Yeah, I can't seem to find anything.
You're probably
about
right.
the
There's
mother of his
probably no
children.
mom.
Very crazy.
Or she signed an NDA and is just
Or she
off the
signed
grid.
an NDA.
Oh, he is Mormon, though, I found, which...
Oh, there we go.
Well, he left the church when he was 34.
Because they wouldn't let him take blood from his child.
Yeah. When your shit is even too weird for the Mormon church, that's something.
Yeah, this is very creepy.
Has he seen Battlefield Earth? It might be right up his alley.
I do love that he dumped his fiance because she had breast cancer.
Well, her genetics aren't pure. He's trying to get better with that stuff. He doesn't want cancer in the bloodline.
I mean, he loves her, but let's be real here.
Yeah. No time for that.
No time for that. He can't take her breasts and inject them into older breasts to make better breasts.
No, he injected him into his breasts.
Yeah, that. The look on Darren's face right now.
She had to have a mastectomy, and he went up to the doctor and he's like, What are you going to do with that boob when it's done? Can I have that boob?
I don't think you'd want that one.
Well,
give me the other one. Lop the other one off.
Yeah, while you're at it.
That one's fine. It's like a juice box to him. Just put a little Capri Sun titty blood.
It's a good band name. Titty Blood.
Capri
There
Sun.
must
Eddie
be.
Trunk is seeing them next week.
There must be. No, he doesn't see like actually heavy bands. He sees like, Amaranth.
Well, that's the problem. That New York now only shows titty blood type bands and not the
Right.
bands he wants to see.
Not like 18 months ago.
Yeah.
No more Saigon Kick shows. Very
No
soon.
more. It just used to be Epica, night after night after night.
Whew.
What are you typing, Rob?
So my dad is annoying me about my fucking HBO Max password.
What? Wait, don't
you?
you? Wait a minute. Hold on. Don't you use my HBO Max account?
I do.
So you're sharing my shit with your dad now?
No, that is incorrect. I learned recently that if you have a cell phone with AT&T, when they owned Warner, there was a whole thing where you just get grandfathered into getting free HBO Max.
Okay.
So just my cell phone account has an HBO account. So
What is your dad watching on there?
I don't know. I haven't logged into my.
I'm
account
so
there.
curious now.
Probably
Or
like
is that the point?
Schwarzenegger movies. He watches just like the most basic action movies.
You don't
Like,
think
we
he's
shared a
watching
Netflix
like the
account.
Sex and the City reboot or anything on there?
I know I am. That's what that's going back to what I was saying about Batman and Superman. Like the new Sex and the City series is absolutely terrible, but I could not look away. It was so fun to hate watch at how they get like humanity wrong. like the script is pre-AI, but it was written by robots.
Isn't that
because-
character from the show your avatar on my HBO Max account?
Yeah,
now?
Che. Well, see, so when HBO switched to Max,
Yeah.
I learned that for your profile, you could pick a profile photo.
Mhm.
So I thought, who is the most annoying person I could pick? And of course, it was Che from the new Sex and the City series. They are a gender non-binary character that
Who's like a
Miranda,
podcaster, right?
who's they're a comedian and a podcaster.
Okay.
And they are responsible for Miranda's funniest line I've heard in the entire series. Do you want to go to the comedy show? Or a comedy show? Was it? No, a comedy concert. I think comedy concert was the phrase. Like there was a phrase. It's like, who talks like, nobody talks like that.
And it wasn't
the
meant as a
comedy
joke.
concert.
It was just like a normal
No.
line of dialogue.
They
Do
kept
you wanna
saying
go-
like, we're going to the comedy concert. We're going to Chase comedy concert.
But what about future of human?
Comedy concert is future of human.
Oh, there you go.
So, it's very bad. The scripts are terrible, but it's great.
I heard what's her name is coming back. She's rocking it.
Yeah, I'm sure she got a lot of money to do exactly
to
one
stand in
scene.
a different room and not actually have to talk to Sarah.
She
Jessica
takes the
Parker.
ski mask off.
Yes, exactly.
What's so fucked up about the first season of the reboot is her character was Carrie's publicist, and the storyline is Carrie got a new publicist, and the two of them had a falling out, and Samantha moved to the UK. So the whole season, Carrie is trying to text Samantha, and Samantha's not texting back. And then finally she starts texting her back, and Carrie is in Europe, and she's like, can we see each other? And Samantha says, I would like that. And then there's a fade implying you're about to see Samantha on the show. And I'm like knowing the Hollywood behind it, I'm like, wait, no, but she's not on the series. How are they going to pull this off? They don't. The scene just happens and you don't see it. And it's like, why even do this? Why build this up? So this was the most built up thing in the whole season, leading to nothing. It happens off camera.
They
Was
might
it in
just
like
literally-
the
that she
last
talks about
episode?
Yeah, it's in the
So then
last
it's a
episode.
teaser for the next season.
No, but it happened, and then she talks about it with the other three.
She talks about
afterwards.
seeing Samantha.
Yes,
Oh.
it happens off
I don't.
camera. And
I
then
don't think they can be in a room together, dude.
I know they can't. I
Yeah.
know they can't.
So,
She's
like,
not
how do
even
you-
in the room with any of them when she
You'd
shot
have
her
to. You'd have to green screen it or something.
scene. Yeah. Well, why even have that plot point? Is what I'm saying.
Because
it's so stupid.
so
There
that
were
you
so many weird
get
plot
attention.
Yeah.
If you do watch the Fast and Furious movies, note as they go on, Vin Diesel increasingly they find story ways to have him be alone, and it's because nobody can stand him.
Wow.
Well, I heard now he's calling out Jason Momoa for this movie for overacting, I think he said.
Oh, when I saw the movie, I was like, it ends on a cliffhanger, and if it didn't, there's no way that he would let Momoa come back for the sequel because Momoa steals the movie, and that just can't be okay with Vin Diesel.
Because he's like the main writer of the movie, right? Like he's involved with the.
He's one of the. He doesn't write them, but he's one of the producers, and he wields a lot of power. The director on this movie quit a week into production. A lot of directors won't work with Vin Diesel. A lot of famous directors have turned down Fast and Furious movies because they won't work with Vin Diesel.
So why it's just he doesn't compromise. He only wants to put himself over. Like what's his?
He's a diva. He's a total diva, which is also like very clear when you're watching the movies, and all of his storylines are like, and his shit ends world hunger. Like it's just always ridiculous.
I see. I can see why him and The Rock don't get along, because I feel like The Rock gets very similar complaints. So
It's
they
two
probably-
alphas, man. You can't.
Yeah, they probably like whose character is the one saving the world? You know.
Oh,
first?
do you know they have it in their contracts that like nobody can lose a fight, and they can only get punched equal numbers of times. Like this is shit that they negotiated. The Rock and Vin Diesel.
Right. So if Vin Diesel punches him 5 times, he has to punch Vin Diesel.
And all fights between them have to end in a tie.
Oh my god.
Now, so when they have no one has ever if Vin Diesel and The Rock are fighting, Then someone comes from behind Vin Diesel and hits him with the chair. Could The Rock win the fight then, or not even? Then someone has to come and hit The Rock with the chair too.
That's a great question. I don't know.
You know, because that's how they get.
Yeah, by the way, I should say it extends beyond them. It apparently started with them, but I've heard that at this point, most of the main cast has some.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Once you see Vin Diesel negotiating it, like, hey, why not negotiate it for yourself as well if you can get away with it?
I feel like if I was like Tyrese or Sung Kang, I would like go to the producers and say I will lose every fight, just to like be different.
For me, also though, with Tyrese, is like, what other bookings is he getting nowadays? Or like, is Ludacris still in the franchise?
He wasn't. Yeah, Tyrese was in Morbius. How dare you?
Oh my god!
Actually, I feel like Tyrese works more in other stuff than Vin Diesel does. When's the last time Vin Diesel was in anything that wasn't a Fast and Furious movie? I agree, but
I think that's also because Vin Diesel doesn't need to work, right? Like, he's getting those producer points.
That's true, but what's he going to do when this is done? If it's ever done,
it's never going to be done.
Well, that's fair.
That's all.
Never ending.
Also, why am I worried about? Why am I so worried about Vin Diesel's future? Vin, go back to school, get your degree.
Maybe that could be your next.
Okay.
Maybe that could be your next blog post. Is just like ideas for Vin Diesel's next move after Fast and Furious ends.
That's a good idea.
Just pitch him like a top 10 ideas of what he could do next.
DeVry, for sure.
Barbazon.
No,
he's just going to reboot the XXX franchise.
Oh
my tried God. That. It didn't work.
Oh, it happened already? Did I miss this?
They did it a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
How about playing bass for Pantera?
No, Momoa's got that job.
I thought Momoa plays bass for Metallica. Anyway, let's see. Okay, well, now you left me with some homework, Matt. Now
okay,
I gotta
great.
Watch Fast 5 and on, because I am curious about these movies.
Yeah, you're not going to have a hard time figuring out like what happened. You know what I mean?
My favorite kind of movie is one where I could just check out and browse Twitter while the exposition is happening, and then like, oh, some action's happening. Let me put down Twitter for a minute, and then like follow that. Like, oh, that looked cool. Back to Twitter.
In Fast 6, the opening credits are literally like a previously on.
Oh wow!
Oh,
so
great.
That's helpful.
That is helpful. That's good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our Spotify playlist. Every week we like to pick a few little doozies and put them in a playlist we call the Spotify the RAPL Livecast Music Break on Spotify. And you could search for that on Spotify. Have I said Spotify enough? I don't think so. Spotify. So we have 35 hours of music in here. So you can get yourself some good variety. And my pick this week is from a new group that I just found out about, which I think is a livecast appropriate. The name of the artist is Knower. And no, that's not Thor Stretstein saying Noah's name. It's somebody who knows. Knower. Knower. It's a duo. They're electronic, I guess.
Well, you picked it, so yeah, I'm guessing it's probably electronic.
They're very heavy. They're like jazz. I would say it's more jazz than it's like jazz electronic.
And it's heavy, did you say?
Yeah, it's funk. The song that I picked.
Rob, have you actually listened to this song? You're just saying random words now.
Well, I just learned of this band this week. My friend Anthony recommended them to me.
Well, when he says it's heavy, it means all the songs are about the Holocaust.
No, the BPMs are pretty high, so it's like a serious, a pulsing drum beat, which was very impressive. This is a short song, 3 minutes. It's called "The Abyss." So check that out. That's my pick. Axl, what did you pick?
I picked a new song, a hot new single. No, I picked a song from 1988 called "Memories Can't Wait" by Living Colour. It's a cover of a Talking Head song. And I've been listening to it a lot lately. I mean, I've been listening to it a lot most of my life, but just recently a lot for some reason. And yeah, I love that song. And I thought I'd share it with you all.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Darren?
They recently played Madison Square Garden, opening for, wait for it,
Avenged
Falling,
Sevenfold.
Falling in Reverse and Avenged Sevenfold. Yes.
That hasn't happened
Really?
yet.
Oh, it hasn't happened. Oh,
No,
okay.
I know because Ben and I are going to that show.
Just for Living Color, or no? You like Avenged Sevenfold?
I like Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
No, just for Falling in Reverse.
Oh my God.
Well, honestly, like I would go, and I like seeing Avenged Sevenfold live, but Falling in Reverse, having to be stuck for an hour in MSG to see Falling in Reverse.
Go get a pretzel or something.
Well,
Believe me, that's definitely high on my list of concerns. What do we do in between Living Color and Avenged Sevenfold?
Well, not to one up Matt, but I played a song from 1989.
Oh,
so much more current than you. And it's by Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, one of the most influential hip hop artists of the 80s, and influenced Biggie Smalls and Nas and Queens native. And I was just in the mood for some old school boom bap hip hop. So
Nice.
I'd like to share it with our audience.
Thank you. And the rare occasion where I have the newest song on the list, I picked the band Lectron, which is a brand new band featuring members of Alkaline Trio, Rocket from the Crypt, and AFI. And if you like any of those bands, you'll like this. It's very good. It's a toe tapper. It's called She's a War. And it came out this week. And look at me picking a new song for once.
Is it a new band made up of like lots of old people though?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So still, yeah. It's
got a
new
little
with
balance.
an asterisk. Yeah.
it counts.
Thank you.
And of course, if you're like, wow, this livecast was great. I want to keep listening to the livecast. I need more livecast, but I've heard all the other free episodes. Where do I get more livecast? Well, throw us a few bones. Hit up our Patreon. Patreon.com/RIPLivecast. $5 a month, you get all these episodes. You get like 50, 60 bonus episodes at your disposal. It's like RIPL Livecast Plus, RIPL Livecast Max. Drop the HBO. And we have a ton of great stuff. Like Sid mentioned, our featured episode right now on our Patreon. We had so much fun watching Vince Neil, My Story, which is this like very cheap documentary on Access TV.
No, wasn't it Reels?
Oh, on Reels. I'm sorry, it was on Reels, an even smaller channel than Access TV.
But somehow we found that and not the Access show.
Yeah, Bandit
Right.
is the one that was on Access.
Because I don't know if you know this, Matt, but Vince Neil is the host of an American Idol-like reality series on Access called
what are you talking
Bandit.
about? Is this real?
Yes!
When
Well,
did
we
this
don't
start?
know. We can't find it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
impossible to find on their website, even though they. But it does air.
There's a trailer
On the-
for it.
Okay.
Yeah. I definitely recommend looking up the trailer. It's insane that like someone funded this and thought that, yes, let's make Vince Neil the star of this vehicle.
A guy who can't sing anymore is going to
or
judge your
can
singing.
barely talk on
Yeah, he can barely speak.
Half conscious. He needs some blood from his son, honestly.
That's really what this is. They're just auditioning blood bags for Vince Neil.
That must be it. Any discarded mastectomy titties,
Oh my god.
wheel them in on the
Rob's used
Zamboni.
condom.
Yeah.
That's why the episodes aren't available. They don't want you knowing these people's whereabouts once they're executed for Vince
Right.
Neil's blood.
We did learn one new thing during this documentary, which is how Razzle died.
Yeah,
Like the
specific-
literal, not he was in a car crash, but the specifics of his death.
What were the specific?
He
We
was
don't want to
holding.
spoil it.
Oh,
You got to pay for that.
I thought I was going to give away a teaser. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, do that. You could do that.
No, I don't want to know. You're right. You made a good point.
No, he's right. I should have to pay.
We'll tell you off air. We'll tell you off air, but everybody
We'll
else.
tell you off air how Razzle died, but if you want to learn how somebody died, pay us.
Yeah.
$5. Patreon.com/RIPLivecast. There's tons of great other content in there. And Sid does a weekly TV recommendation column. So if you need something to watch, Sid will recommend things for
Got you covered every week with new stuff.
And so that's on our Patreon. And if you want to throw us a few extra bonesies, then I'm having a brain fart here. $10 a month makes you
get a shout out.
Top Livecast fan of the week, and you get a shout out at the end of the show, which is right now. How should we do the shout outs?
Can I suggest it's you as Eddie Trunk complaining about various characteristics of these people?
Oh boy, folks. Well, you know what? I went over to Eric's house. He didn't offer me a cup of water even. This is my Eddie Trunk. I don't know why I sound like
All right. You made a
And I-
choice.
I-
Go with it.
and-
This is
and
like
I
your
get-
Forrest Whitaker moment.
And here I am in Times Square. And did you know the traffic here is crazy? I went over to Benjamin and I'm like, why is the traffic so crazy? He said, talk to Dan R. And Dan R. told me that, like, hey, this is New York. And I'm like, how dare you tell me this is New York? And Sam I am, he owns me about $20 because I lent him Mindy Mayer's kippa. And we took a trip to Massachusetts. And we went and, I don't know, this isn't working. But we went and hung out with Hugo, who likes tacos. And Lando Danks is, what's the deal with, I miss the old New York, Corey and Scotty H, Doug Pigman,
LaCroix?
Douglas, who are you, Levison, LaCroix. And hey, guys, it's Josh. All right. Thank you for tuning in, folks. We'll be back next week. Till then, ta-ta.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.